we had a huge argument between Boxy and William, which led into them feeling the need to wrestle each other.
We were beefing.
We were mad beefing. Gets attacked by Boxy and William from behind while he's in his pub. Something happens. Tommy's monitor like trips over during his pub game, and it like shuts off and won't turn back on.
Welcome to the Christmas show by Team Liquid, where we are going to take a deep dive into the Dota 2 team that just won the International 2024.
And you guys are going to hear all the behind the scenes, all the untold stories from the players, from the coaches, and an extra special surprise guest we've got coming on.
So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start it off with the three that are the hardcore of Team Liquid, Boxy, Insania, Mickey. Good morning, first of all. How are we doing, Boxy? You ready for this one?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Doing good. Christmas spirit.
Christmas spirit. We're gonna take you back to 2019, October 2019, more specifically, when you guys went from Alliance to Team Liquid. Insania, can you remember what that timing was like for you and how it felt going from Alliance to Team Liquid as the whole team moved over?
I think we were quite excited. I think we were supposed to fly to Malta for our first boot camp. At the time, I don't think we had no coach. I think William just kind of like helped us make the deal happen. So like, I think as a thank you, Liquid decided to fly him out to Malta with us. And my memories of that boot camp was the place we stayed at was very nice, but the desks and the PCs that we had to play on were a little sus. Yeah. And William just would go to the casino every single day. And I was trying to recruit him to like stay with us and try to get him to be our coach.
Yeah, we wanted to talk a little bit about that.
What was your relationship with William before this in the first place?
So before this, I met him in Katowice, like let's say 6 or 7 months earlier. And I was gonna go play Mafia one night. And we happened to be in the same cab that was going from like the player hotel to the talent hotel. And yeah, then we just started like talking. And I think the Mafia game was somewhat successful. And then, you know, as you do after Mafia games, we discussed stuff after the game, and then I think we kind of became friends that way.
Yeah, because Mickey, then it was, as Aiden says, it was Will that kind of almost brokered the deal between Alliance and Liquid. How did you feel about what was happening? Like, how did you experience that period?
I was just a spectator. I don't remember anything. I just remember waking up one day and like, I'm in Liquid. You know, hell yeah.
Was it purely Aiden pushing for William to coach you guys, or did you guys all know him as well?
I think it was mostly Max and Aiden. I think they were the two that pushed him the hardest. I was just, you know, I'm in Malta, I'm vibing, eating Hugo's, whatever it was.
Oh yeah, Hugo's.
And yeah.
Did this feel like a big opportunity for you guys to prove yourselves? Because you did just come off of the TI where you misclicked gyro and it felt like there was a lot of untapped potential. You guys were on the up and up. Was this like finally your chance to break into the tier 1 scene?
I mean, I feel like we had chances earlier. This was just another chance to break in and win some tournaments. I think like the squad we had in Alliance, even if you're playing under a different org, you're still the same 5 players and people. So if you're gonna win, you can do it playing on, you know.
The biggest difference then being the coach, Boxy, because I remember reading a tweet from Will around that time, looking for a coach because he just, you know, brokered the deal for you guys to be signed by Liquid. That was great. How did it happen that he ended up coaching, even though he was the one trying to find a coach for you, because he didn't really want to do it?
I can tell you from my point of view, he kept saying like, oh no, I don't want to do it. Don't make me coach. Please don't. And then like in reality, probably he didn't set out to do it in the beginning. But he like weaseled his way in there a little bit.
So you said he was at the casino a lot, Aiden, but he was also doing talent work still at that time. So did you guys...
He was doing Facebook streaming, I remember.
Yes, he was. I remember.
So he would put on his stream, and I mean, he would stream. I don't know what he was doing. He was doing Facebook streaming, but he wasn't always at the PC. Like 99% of the time, he was at the PC.
I mean, maybe this can get cut out, but William would just like load up a stream, and then he would like put on a replay, and then he would just go to sleep. And then like, once the replay ended, the next 6 hours of his stream was just like nothing.
So already at that time, I knew he was a little bit of like a charlatan.
I mean,
should've.
you guys are obviously, poking jabs at William here, but like, why did you guys as a team need a coach? Like, what did you guys feel like was lacking within U5?
I think we were all kind of inexperienced still at the time, and I think William taught us a lot of stuff that we still, are like using today. So, I mean, he helped us improve as not only players but as persons as well. So, I'll always appreciate him.
Very wholesome. Because we are gonna move on. We're gonna talk about the entire year here. And I have to start with the first event you guys did under the Team Liquid banner. The LAN that was in Rotterdam. It was a DreamHack, and it didn't go very well at all. I think you guys got eliminated by a random NA stack.
Demon Slayers.
Demon Slayers, that's the one.
We did not tell them that.
No, we did not. But good memory indeed. Aiden, I mean, you're saying that because you remember it, because it didn't look too hot. How do you remember that first LAN?
I don't really remember much.
Only
but
the
I remember
aftermath.
Yeah, only the
there
aftermath.
was the last game we played, I think they picked like Venomancer, and then I asked my offlane what they wanted to play, and I think they said Pudge plus something.
That sounds
At
good.
that point, the offlane is sitting right next to you. 'Cause
That sounds
Boxy
good.
was
Yeah,
off.
and I think the Pudge had like a different E.
He
I
had
think.
passive E, not
Had
the
passive E, not like the active E, so where he blocks damage. And then, that didn't really work out. And afterwards, William like took me outside and went on like, this was our first event, and I had like never seen William mad. I only knew like Happy William at this time. And he went on like a 20-minute rant to me first about like, what are you doing,
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, we're on
Offlane
Liquid.
Pudge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lost to like a non-sponsor team, hello. And then I think he took all of us outside, and he kind of just like let out his frustrations.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember
really
the Pudge
remember.
thing, but I
I
just
just
wanna,
know he got really mad about me picking
let's just
Pudge.
make a quick note that like if you're already losing a lot of games, then like whatever happened in the last game, maybe it's not draft related. Maybe it wasn't your or my fault.
Maybe. I just carried it.
Yeah,
Yeah, carried it.
for sure.
I don't want to rub salt in the wound, but did you guys at the time, did it bother you that Alliance also won that event? Or do you not even remember that?
I mean, I don't really think I cared about that at all.
So there was
Do
no
you know
like
who
rivalry
was
from-
playing in Alliance right after?
Like
Wasn't it
Nico
Nico
Baby,
Baby? 11?
Yeah,
Hansken?
but I mean, I was friends with some of those people. So,
So
like,
there was like no bitter rivalry at all between you guys and Alliance throughout that time?
not really. Maybe like
I think later in the year
maybe
we wanted
later
to
a
beat
bit.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, because I do believe that they kept, for a little while, beating you here and there.
I think we were quite 50-50 at big events.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because you guys actually got 5th, 6th at the next major where
Yeah.
you beat Alliance
Exactly.
to get 5th, 6th. So
And then I think they beat us at the one after.
yeah, it was
get top 4.
mainly Alliance beating you guys, but you guys got them mainly in the DPC/online stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of majors that year, everything was going quite well for you guys because obviously, as Brian mentioned, top 6 in Chengdu and then also I believe top 6 in Leipzig as well. Mickey, did you guys feel like you were on the groove and grind to go upwards and onwards?
I don't really remember that time, to be honest. It's kind of erased from my memory. But
Yeah.
I think I don't really remember the what was it, Chengdu major?
Yeah.
No, I
that's
don't.
the first
I
time we
can
went
tell
to
you.
China.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
So we went to
Okay.
China, and I remember like the first day we arrived, I think we arrived in the morning, which is like, for people that fly very often, not something you want to do.
But was this
When-
the practice room with the bed?
Yeah, we'll get there.
That was good.
Yeah. So we land in Chengdu in the morning, and William's like, okay, everyone, we got to stay awake because in 2 days we're playing officials.
Oh,
And let's say it's like maybe 11 a.m. when we get to the hotel. And we're all in the practice room because this was like his way of making sure that everyone's awake. But our practice room was the nicest practice room we've ever had. So there was like a ginormous like king size bed and enough space to have like wrestling matches, which we'll get to later. And
Was the space used for wrestling matches?
we'll get there.
Okay.
Spoilers,
Oh, sorry,
spoilers.
sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, so
Aiden is
Giant-
Oh, no, I
he's
remember.
preparing
I'm
to
I'm
like
setting the scene.
All right.
Yeah.
embellish his story
Yeah.
here.
And then we all get on our computers. I think we're playing CSGO to stay awake. And between like CSGO rounds, Boxy would like just go chill in the bed, like just sit in the bed, get on his phone. And then William would be like, Boxy, don't fall asleep. And Boxy's like, I'm not sleeping, I'm just resting my eyes. And then you look over and you just see him like, phone is like in his lap, and then he's just like closed eyes. And then you know, William would get distracted watching some YouTube video, and then you just see Boxy going slowly like further down.
I mean,
And William's like,
when you're jet lagged, you're so tired because it's as if you've been staying up until like 6, 7 a.m. and you would just fall asleep like this. So you just micro nap like 100 times, and you
Yeah.
kept getting woken up by some random stuff, and you just be like yes, yes, and then you just fall asleep again.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was like the first day,
Yeah.
which was very funny. Obviously, like at this time, William didn't really know us. I think he only really knew me. So this was like his introduction to everyone on the team. And a little bit later, a few days later, we had a huge argument between Boxy and William, which led into them feeling the need to wrestle each other.
As men do.
I think
yes.
when we were talking like in theory, William was like, I was like, I can take you, William, and he's like, there's no way. And then I said something about like it's not the size of the dog, but the fight in the dog or whatever. And then yeah, we had a little tussle.
So who won?
Tommy's monitor.
Wasn't it quite even? That's why you guys like threw each other
okay,
on the ground.
No. It was not. It was like this. William thought when Boxy says, "Let's wrestle,"
Oh,
it's like a
no,
joke.
right.
You know, you're gonna.
I took it lightly. For sure.
You're gonna like, you know, friendly
yeah.
wrestling
Lightly.
session. The moment this started, Boxy went like 100% in. Like he like attacked
No,
him.
that
as
was
if-
like it was like 50%.
Okay, he went like 85% in.
You don't want to see his 100%.
He went like 85% in. And
Never
William
go,
was
never
like,
go 100%.
William was shocked, and Tommy, the only person on our team at the time that was actually playing Dota. I think all of us were playing CS and griefing, and Tommy's like just sitting there hard at work playing Dota, trying to like win this event. Gets attacked by Boxy and William from behind while he's in his pub. Something happens. Tommy's monitor like trips over during his pub game, and it like shuts off and won't turn back on while he's like in his pub.
Yeah, man, it was a long time ago.
But is this where the like don't say sorry when you're not sorry? comes?
Yes, it is. I think so. It's just-
So whatever. At the
Is
end
it,
of this,
is it good memories? When you think back of it, was it?
I mean,
This was
I
really
would
funny
say
for me.
It was
even-
fun.
like for
even
me, it was
at,
great.
Even at the time, like
Funny memories.
it wasn't that bad.
No.
Like everything except for the monitor breaking, which wasn't ideal, obviously.
Sure.
But accidents happen, and
I'm pretty sure we told the organizer the monitor just like
Just
doesn't
died.
work. We didn't tell them the wrestling part. that we might have left out.
That's an irrelevant detail.
Yeah.
Do you get fun memories like that of the next major as well in Leipzig, or is that more like a little bit of a blur?
Is Leipzig the 1v5 or 2v5?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the only memory.
with
I
the
have.
Slaughter Willow hole.
oh yeah.
I
I
believe.
mean, I guess that was a cool
That was
game or memory.
Yeah.
But I remember playing that game. It was like, why aren't we winning for like 40 minutes? Because I think we had a really, really big lead.
Yeah.
And then in the end, after we threw in their base, they go and throw in our base, as you do in Dota.
Yeah.
And then we defended like 2v5, and that was really hard.
I just remembered. This is
Yes.
Rezo took his hands off the keyboard
He
when they were
did.
hitting our throne.
He did again?
Again.
Not again.
No, but just like
But
23
yeah,
servers.
Yeah, I just remembered. I remember Rezo was like hitting our throne, and he like gets up out of his chair,
Yeah, and he dies the boxy.
and he dives the Boxy,
I
just
know
like
that.
he's just like AFK hitting. He's Underlord hitting the base, and Boxy just
Oh,
like
yeah.
murders him with Star.
That's why he played
Yeah.
like that, because he just ran in and died.
He just ran
Yeah.
in and hit, and then you just like killed him.
Yeah. No, that was a good memory, good game.
Yeah.
I remember that too.
I also remember at the time there was a guy called Magical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who would always play TA, and then we would say we can't play against TA, we need to ban it. And then I said, I feel like this guy's TA is not that good. So then we played a 1v1 mid, me and him, before the
Oh,
match.
yeah.
And I was the offlane player, and I won TA versus TA. And then we didn't ban it, and then I guess we beat it, or they didn't pick it. I don't even remember.
I don't even remember, but I do remember this. It was like a big problem.
And it was pretty funny.
But it was a best
Yeah.
of one, right?
Yeah.
No, the series was
No,
best of two.
but we played like a
Referee.
1v1
Yeah.
before the match
Yeah.
Yeah.
against like the enemy.
I remember that.
Enemy
That was before it was on the stage.
Yeah.
I remember.
And I
Will
don't know
talked
why
to you
he
about
agreed
that,
to it either. Because if you win, it's like, oh, you beat their offlane player.
Yeah.
And if you lose, it's like you just lost with your best hero to their offlane
In
player.
your mid lane to the
yeah.
offlaner, yeah.
So
Very losing
I just remember it was
situation.
very hype, and we were all yelling, like, because it was like one of those setups where like the teams can kind of see each other. So we're just like yelling at each other from across the room.
Yeah,
When Boxy kills him, it's like everyone's losing their shit.
I remember that.
It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like both those tournaments seemed like pretty good experiences for you guys, and then you ended up not being able to qualify for the LA major that was next, and then you went to the summit in LA, and during that time was when COVID hit, and they were deliberating whether or not the major was even going to happen. It ends up getting canceled. So what was that like for you guys when it seemed like COVID was going to have a huge impact on the scene, and suddenly everything that seemed pretty stable at the time was no longer the case?
I mean, I remember William talking about he was going to go to some concert and it got cancelled, like Post Malone. So that was obviously, that was sad.
That's a bummer.
No, I mean, it was kind of scary in a way, because we were in LA at Summit and we were playing, and then they're like, oh, all these flights are getting cancelled. Can you even like get home?
Yeah.
Are you even going to be able to fly home, or are you like going to be
Stuck.
containered? What do you call it?
Quarantine.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, quarantine.
So that, I mean, that was a little scary, but I think no matter where you were in the world at the time, it was a very, like, for me, new and weird experience.
Yeah, were you guys worried at all? Because basically every event got cancelled. Obviously, the major that you guys didn't qualify to was cancelled, which, you know, that obviously that sucks, but it didn't really impact you that hard directly. But then nothing happens. Was there no worry? Because obviously you guys' career mostly built on doing well, winning LANs.
I mean, it was just a bit sad for us, because our first TI we played in Alliance, and then we had qualified to the TI that was supposed to be coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By, you know, struggling in the DPC or the majors
No, I mean,
or whatever.
the two majors that we got top 6 in, and I think our online results was like enough to qualify you to TI.
It was. Yeah, I can
So we were
confirm.
like, oh, you know, I remember this was like a thing with William, was very much like, let's really put an effort at the start of the year and then get to TI as fast as possible, and we can ask for raises if we qualify. This was like, he was really pushing this like
I don't
narrative
remember
at the
that.
time. I mean, it was what he was telling me. He's
Like
like, you know, get everyone to try really hard now, because then we can like get raises earlier, and it'll like benefit all of us. So when we got the second top 6 at Leipzig, I remember I was like, okay, TI is like on lock.
Yeah, it was like 95% sure.
Yeah, something like that. I think the previous year or something, it was like, if you had 2 top 6s,
You're good.
safe.
Yeah,
I think at the time they invited 12 teams.
correct.
So it was easier to qualify. But no, I mean, the big story of the summit, I guess, was like your and my.
Yeah, we were beefing.
We were mad beefing. And I think, I mean, we had a lot of like issues just in general. And I think one of the things, like Vicky mentions, William helped us as people, I think was helping us to drop our balls on the floor. No, but us get along. But the main thing I remember about Summit was like the team was quite divided. There was like I wanted like, I told William, I don't want to play with Boxy anymore. Boxy told William, I don't want to play with Aiden anymore.
Oh shit.
And then it was like, well, you got to decide, go with this or that. And then I don't know why, but maybe COVID like saved us by like sending us home, and then like emotions kind of like cooled off. But that was like the peak of our beef.
Okay, because how do you look back on it? It's like, well, I guess COVID
Now
just
I
made us
think-
forget it, or what?
No, it was no
I mean,
forgetting.
you like
Yeah.
worked through it
Yeah.
at the time,
Yeah.
but I think also when there were no tournaments for a while, you kind of, I mean, both, you know, we talked about it, but also then you get kind of a reset where if you, let's say you have a fight with somebody and then you clear it out, doesn't mean necessarily that like everything is perfect. It just means that you can like move forward.
Yeah.
And then when you have a break and you go home and a lot of stuff happens, then you're like back to like square one a little bit. So I don't know if it helped, maybe.
How much did you notice, Mickey, of their beef, or was it pretty?
I'm sure everyone.
Obvious.
Everyone
It was huge. I think William pulled us all one-on-one and talked and said like, this is happening right now, and
Yeah.
we might not be together anymore. Some breakup story, I don't know. But no, it was a weird feeling at the time, to be honest, because COVID was happening. My team is like breaking apart. So me and Max, we just like ended up playing ping pong all day,
Coping.
coping. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not because that sounds like a pretty hectic period, going into a maybe even more crazy period, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's if anything a warm up to what you guys are gonna be experiencing moving forward. But I just wanted to ask if the time you guys spent at all the facility, because that was the time where you ended up having to stay together much longer because of COVID, did that help that situation, or did that?
I think you guys ended up hating each other more, no? At the
I mean,
Maybe.
for me, the
COVID
peak
bootcamp.
was for sure Summit, because I don't remember what it was about or why it was, but I just remember that was like the emotional, like, this absolutely does not work. But no, so the facility, I don't know if it was even open at the time yet.
I think it just opened.
it
No,
opened
during
us during
COVID.
during the COVID
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
the year, and then there were discussions about like flying here and staying here to play, because they announced suddenly like there was like 50 online tournaments that were announced,
Yeah.
and literally every single week you were playing like 2 events. And I mean, I think this was like probably one of the periods that we played the best.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, because I think we had like the Seoul Summit thing, went home for like a month. Everyone realized like, hey, Dota might not be around forever, or at least for me, I realized Dota might not be around, and you know, you gotta make what you can with what you got right now. And then we started playing these online tours, and we kept getting like pretty far. Just you lose to Team Secret, or at the time it was VPP, which is like the former Bet Boom roster essentially. And these are like the 2 teams that you kept running into, and we would keep getting like consistent like top 3s and stuff. And yeah, I think it was quite motivating as a team, because we had gone like on Alliance, we had been like last place every event, into like before TI where we gyroed, we got like top 6 at, no, so first we got like 2nd place at the minor, which was like, oh my god, we needed to get 2nd to qualify to the major, and then at the major we needed to get top 6, which for us was like unheard of, to qualify to TI. This was like the path. Do that, come to Liquid, get like top 6. Summit, I think we got like 3rd, 4th. We lost the OG seed,
Yeah.
whatever. We lost the OG seed.
They were good.
They were pretty good.
OGC.
Madara, Sibbe,
I don't know.
whatever. So like we were like kind of like rising in results, but like top 3 was like a new tier unlocked. And then it was like Tyrants of Secret. We got to play them in a final at some point. Got smoked, as everyone else did.
So during that time, were you guys staying here? So when at some point the facility did open, you guys stuck around
So
here
we
for a long
came
time?
here after like I think our results were pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we came here during like the summer, and then we stayed here for I think like
Long time.
Months.
I think
6 months,
yeah, 6
maybe.
months,
Okay.
Or maybe it was like early. Maybe we came during the winter.
I don't think we stayed for 6 months consecutively though.
No, we probably went home for
Like,
a couple
went home
days
a bit
and
and
then
then
come
we-
back.
Yeah. But
Oh.
it was a really, but
Yeah.
it was hard to fly home because you had to go get tested every time.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh my god.
I don't think anyone really enjoyed having things stuck up their nose.
I don't think anybody did. No.
Yeah.
So during the 6 months that you're here, did you guys feel like you guys grew better as a team in terms of not in Dota itself, but you know, you guys are mentioning you were beefing before that. Did the team bond get stronger because of COVID?
This was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
So
I mean,
Black.
probably it just went like, you know, it goes like up and down,
Yeah.
slowly upwards, has some downfalls. I don't know.
William's not here, but I think this was also the first time me and William got into fights at some point. Because I think we'd been here forever, and we played like some CS game. And I was like moving from sites to like go kill people. And William felt very strongly that you should just sit in your place and play your position. And this was like, you know, when you've been around people for 6 months,
That's a silly thing.
you like have a lot of built up frustrations,
Yeah.
and we were not really comfortable enough to like actively talk to each other at the time about our problems. So you just like bottled it up. And then that was like the breaking point. And I remember for like 3 days straight, we refused to talk to each other. Like if he was in the kitchen eating, I would just like come out from the practice room, look at him, be like, oh, he's in the kitchen, then I'm not going in the kitchen. Turn around, walk around. And like I remember like at least Max being like, oh no, our team's falling apart again. It's Boxy and Aiden round 2.
I mean, maybe like when the beef started happening between other people, then I like,
Sidetrack?
yeah, I like slank away and I did not receive any frustrations.
Yeah.
You know?
It's quite a turbulent time.
Yeah, I'm just I all I knew about was the turbulence of TI getting canceled
Yeah.
and everything else. And
Now you're learning the full story of our team.
Oh, I mean that does bring us to the next chapter, because we are kind of ending the COVID era into playing Dota again. So for that, we're gonna start on a new chapter.